down mine shafts, on farms, and construction sites. Every day, hard-working men and women across the country roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty to make an honest day's living. I went on a nationwide search across America from coast to coast to find the toughest Americans that I could find, and in the end, I found you guys. These people are tough as nails. Lynette has this incredible story. She went to Florida to get a job. The job fell through, and all of a sudden, she became homeless, and she lost the custody of her 4 kids.
I got the job, and they decided to change their mind once I got there with my children.
Just so happened that while she was homeless, she saw a notice on a wall that said that there was a welding course, and she just was very, very good at it. She had a natural talent.
I love to work with my hands, and I like to be physical, so welding was the place for me. I went from being homeless to getting my welding job to buying a house within a year.
Was something motivating you as you were doing this?
I don't want to show my children I'm a quitter.
Determined to finish the job.
Roll on back for me.
Come on, let's push.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Good? Come on, push.
I'm ready to quit, but when they come by my side, I feel like whatever energy they had, I had to match it. I'm still gonna put their ass in the team at the end of the day. Every time we get into a team setting, Savage Crew gives me this feeling that I can do anything.
Savage Crew supporting one of their own. Teamwork.
Teamwork, man. She put her heart and soul into that.
Louis Dallas is my family forever. I believe if they wouldn't have come down there, I probably would have quit.
So as you can see, Lynette is definitely tough as nails. So please welcome to the Carhartt virtual stage, our friend of Carhartt, our Carhartt mom. You've probably seen her in some of our mom videos. She's a life leader. She's a Carhartt ambassador. She truly believes in the power of our brand. And she just wants to have some conversation with you about, I don't think there's anything she can't do. As I remember, I called her one time and she was sewing. And I said, is there anything you can't do? And of course, she probably answered no, because I think there isn't anything she can't do. But she just wants to talk to you about how to become your best selves. Like, how has she inspired herself um, to become her best self. So please give her a warm Carhartt virtual welcome as she has a conversation with us. So Lynette, thank you, and we are looking forward to hearing from you.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wow. Well, that made it look very easy and looked very awesome. And I appreciate the video. I would like to say thank you guys for allowing me to speak to you within this meeting. You guys are awesome, and I'm hoping, and my intentions are, to give you a little bit of history about me, so that you can kind of see how the history of the individual people that you clothe, how their story connects to what you do, and how important everyone's individual aspect is when it comes down to changing people's lives. So basically, Carhartt for me is a strong chain, and I want to break down basically how each one of you guys are a link, and within your strength, how you built a brand that changed people's lives, right? So, of course, as you saw, I was on season 1. Tough as Nails was a great, huge deal in my life, and I'm so appreciative of it. I'm a woman welder. I own 2 businesses, a fitness business and also a welding business, Wonder Welding LLC. So, which also gave me the opportunity to be here. It's a great occupation, but it also gives so many different aspects that you can show to the world, and I'm very glad to be able to show you guys mine. So a little bit of history about me. Once again, my name is Lynette Key. I am from Memphis, Tennessee. I am the youngest of 4. I have 2 brothers and a sister. We were in a mother and father home, and at a young age, I didn't really know where I was going within my family society. So for me, I ended up picking up weights really early, okay, like around 10 years old. It was a great outlet for me going through difficult times within childhood. So going into lifting weights and running track, and I ended up being more physical beyond those aspects. But when I became an adult, I realized that I still wanted to do more physical jobs. So I ended up being a welder. A warehouse worker. I had 4 children at the time, and I don't know if you guys know a lot about being, I guess, just a general warehouse worker, associate somewhere. It doesn't pay a lot, but I just really enjoyed the idea of being able to work with my hands. I knew that was something that I wanted to do. But being a single mother of 4, it does not pay well. And being in Memphis, I felt like I could not find what I was looking for. I knew there was something missing for me, but I could not figure out what it was, and I felt like the environment I was in, I was incapable of finding it. Being there all my life, I feel like I had kind of exhausted my resources within that place, that I need to search further out. So I moved to Virginia. Moved to Virginia with my mother, and what I had to learn, which a lot of people, sometimes figure out and they do not. Changing locations doesn't mean anything if you do not change your mindset. And when I went to Virginia, my mindset didn't change as much. With my mother being there, I kind of linked back on her instead of focusing on trying to figure out what was necessary for me to be able to be prosperous and financially happy within life. So staying in Virginia, I ended up doing different type of jobs because I was trying to move away from the warehouse job, but I actually ended up staying towards a warehouse job and falling right back onto warehouse jobs in Virginia. Moved to a whole different state, still working with my hands, but ended up being in the exact same position. So within working warehouses there, still enjoying doing fitness, I decided to go towards the fitness route. Now, basically, I'm saying all these things because, no matter what age you are, it might take time to figure out exactly where you're trying to go in life. You cannot go on other people's planes. Whatever they might be good at or what they might enjoy might not be what's best for you. So for me, I was exploring. I had to figure out. I knew I couldn't stay still. And I knew that I didn't want to pause, but at the same time, I couldn't run towards anything because I didn't know where I was going. So I continued with the warehouse, and I was like, I love fitness. Let me try to go into some fitness. And fitness is awesome, but, you learn things about yourself when you're exploring. And what I learned is I'm a people person in mass, but not face to face. I didn't care for it as much, because as a fitness trainer, you're also a motivational person, and you have to motivate an individual. And sometimes it's kind of heartbreaking when you can't reach an individual in your face, but when you have a mass of 100 and you get to 10 people, you're like, cool, thank you. At least I got to them, you know? So I realized I still want to do physical and I still want to do fitness, but I was still in the same warehouse setting. And sometimes drastic situations have to come along to help push you where you need to be. You can see it as a punishment, or you can see it as a test to strengthen your will. The only way you can become a conqueror, or you can say you won anything, is to go through something. You have to go through a war, a fight of such, to be able to be a conqueror of it. So while I'm in Virginia doing warehouses, I decided to do a freezer job and had a hyperallergic reaction to hypothermia and could not walk for a month. Lost all my jobs and everything. So I ended up starting over. It was a crash course situation. Starting over can be the best thing because now it's a blank slate. So my blank slate said move to Florida and continue to pursue trying to figure out what was best for me. Now moving to Florida, you know, is another lesson to be learned. You can sometimes think you can prepare 100% for anything, and you know, things in life will come along and will take that away and give you a decision to either break, or you're going to continue to bounce forward to strengthen yourself wherever you're trying to go. See, I didn't understand that sometimes lessons, hard lessons, are the steps to get you where you actually want to go. You say you want to go this way, yet you didn't realize that these hardships had to be there to get you strong enough to be able to receive anything that you thought you wanted. So I decided I'm going to move to Florida. Forget Virginia. It's cold here. You know, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to go do fitness in Florida because it's warmer. You know, I got 2 cars. I got a job as a fitness manager in Florida. I done got tickets to the Bahamas. We are good. I've set up the situation. I'm not going to fail like in Virginia. Okay. I got it all set right. And I got into Florida, and within 1 month, 30 days, I had lost my house, lost one of my cars, and both of them were fully paid for. Lost one of my cars, and had to take my children back to Memphis to stay because I was homeless. And not off of lack of playing with the money or anything. When I got there, I was hired for a fitness manager, and I had came down there 2 or 3 interviews and got hired. When I got there, apparently the fitness manager, former fitness manager, is a friend of the owner of wherever I was trying to work. And she didn't realize she was being replaced. And she basically told her she was being replaced after I had moved me and my 4 children to 1,000 miles away from where we were. And the lady did not appreciate getting replaced and refused to resign her position. And the owner granted what she wanted. So basically I was out of a job out the blue. And they were like, go back down to, you know, being a personal trainer when I just moved to a whole nother state with 4 kids. So what I could have did is cried and got upset and tried to find some type of revenge. But you can't have your energy in 2 places. You can't have your energy focused on negativity and have your energy focusing on trying to make it better and the positive. You have to figure out which one is more important to you. And what was more important to me was getting out of that rut. Regardless of whatever had happened to me or whatever I felt like they did to me, none of that mattered. Now what matters is how am I going to fix this? So when I told my daddy my situation, he was like, come back home. And at this point in time, I had to realize that, yes, going back to Memphis meant I had somewhere to stay, but it wasn't my place. So honestly, going back to Memphis meant I was still going to be homeless. I was just going to have to pick up and figure out how to establish myself again to be able to move again. But if this is where I want to stay, then I need to establish myself here. So I don't want to move back home and be homeless. I want to figure out how to get myself together. So when he offered me the opportunity to allow my children to stay there for the summer, I was happy. See, as a single parent, I was married, but I was separated from my husband early, and I've always had my children, so I've never had a month or 2 to myself, ever. So I was grateful for that because I didn't want them at a homeless shelter or sleeping in the car with me. See, it's easier for me to sleep in the car. but it wasn't so easy for me to have them sleeping in the car. I would need to get hotel rooms and things of that nature. And I was sleeping in my car on the car lot of my job and at the time, and it just didn't matter. And I was so frustrated at the time. I ended up going to a homeless shelter and losing all my stuff. And I was so frustrated that I was rushing from the homeless shelter to get back to this job and got into a car accident. Totaled my car. The only car I had left. Because the second car I lost broke down on the way back from Memphis, driving my children off to come back to be homeless. So the car I was sleeping in, I totaled on the way to the job, rushing to do a class that wasn't even paying $20. And while I'm waiting on the police, I'm getting berated about when am I going to get there. When all that happened, it was another situation where I could focus on the negative of what's happening and what someone's doing to me, or I could once again focus my energy on how I can change these things. So while I'm at the homeless shelter, they want me to get a job that they're telling me I need a job that pays at least $13 an hour to be able to support myself in Florida. But I don't have a college degree, and I'm new, and honestly, I don't know any regular job that wasn't going to take some type of training that was going to be able to pay me that. And they didn't care. They were like, just get a job so you can get out of here. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build up my fitness business, and I'm going to try to figure out what I can do. When I'm lost, and what I recommend for anyone else is when you're lost, try to seek knowledge from someone. And if you can't seek it from someone, read a book. So the first place I went to was the library. I love books. Knowledge is power. You want to figure something out, go troubleshoot, go Google, go read as many books as you possibly can. So while I'm at the library trying to research how to figure out how to do this media thing, because, I'm mid-30s, we weren't doing the phones with the pictures and stuff at the time. So, I'm going to get it together on that part. But I'm trying to figure out how to advertise on media and Facebook and Instagram and all that algorithm stuff. And on the way to the bathroom, I see a poster for Career Source saying that they will allow you to get a trade in different things. I saw it said soldering, carpentry, welding, and stuff like that. And where I'm from in Memphis, you don't have opportunities to get free trades as an adult. Job Corps is as far as it goes. So after you're 24, there is no free education to get unless you got to go through loop after loop after loop to try to get some type of financial aid. Other than that, they're not trying to teach you nothing. So, I glanced over the poster, but I'm like, I'm very sure there's an age restriction on it. And when I look, they're like all ages. I'm like, okay, hold on now. It's free training, all ages, So I called the poster, and I think I believe it was Thursday. And she was like, when can you come in? I'm like, if you open tomorrow, I'll come in tomorrow to see what's going on. Like, I need out of this rut. Now, understand this, at this homeless shelter, they do not want me to start my own business, nor do they want me to go to school. They want me just to get a job. But at the same time, sometimes you have to figure out, what's best for you, regardless of what other people think is best for you. That route wasn't going to be best for my family, and I was going to end up in the same rut again. I needed to do something that was going to permanently get me out of this. So the next day I went up there, and I told this woman, I said, you know what, I think I want to try welding. I wanted something that I felt like was a physical trait that everyone couldn't do. And I felt like it was something that would make me special. I felt like it was something, that would make a difference. Fitness is good, and helping people, get fit is awesome. And warehouse job is okay. I can't see honestly where my contribution was. But as a welder, I feel like, building on things where people have to live and use and making the world go around, that's a massive contribution to me. And as I tell her this, she sits down 2 pieces of paper and tells me, we have 2 pages of other stuff you can do. Why be a welder? You can do nursing and all types of stuff. So I looked at these 2 pages and I looked at her. I was like, okay, I think I know, I think this is what I want to do though. This is what I'm choosing, and I want to do the welding school. So the welding school, I think, started the next week, and the first day he gave us a test to see how much knowledge we had on welding, and I got a big fat F. I mean, I had no knowledge, nothing. I was like, oh wow. And I'm like, I'm so learning wet in 6 weeks and this big old F. half the words I couldn't understand. What? I felt terrible. But once I got in the booth and we got to welding, and I'm like, oh, it's hot. We go burn. And oh man, they give you a video before you even start welding, basically about death. Honestly, telling you basically how many different ways you can die as a welder. Just honestly, because I guess they have to give you the caution of the lifestyle as a blue collar trade person. And honestly, that didn't deter me. You know, you can die so many different ways, and honestly, I'd rather die as a fighter than live as a coward. So for me, you know, that didn't deter me. And honestly, some of those things were, you know, you just have to use common sense, and some was just mistakes, and you know, a lot of things were very avoidable. But once I started welding, you know, I ended up enjoying it. I guess I love the idea of making stuff once again. You know, I already liked dealing with wood, but now you can melt metal together. And I'm the only woman in there, okay? But I'm very diligent, and I'm trying to get all the information I can. And I want to do it all, you know. And my instructors saw that. So I ended up being the foreman 3 weeks out of a row out of a 6-week class. You know, thank you very much. But it was awesome. But regardless of all the good things that ends up happening, sometimes strife is going to come. And once again, with all these situations, I'm trying to show you that sometimes with a negative, if you just see it differently, it can still be a positive. Or sometimes you just have to blow past what's negative and see the positive. I went through all that, and I finally decided, you know, to go back home to Memphis to go get my children. School starting. You know, summer's over. I thank my daddy for taking care of them while I was trying to get myself together. I'm still homeless. I'm living in a shelter at the time. But we're not in the street. So, you know, and I want my kids with me. You know, I've never had them apart. And I'm not trying to have them apart from me too much longer. So the day I'm about to graduate from welding school, the night, I had already got my children that weekend. And I had bought all of them bikes, you know, to bring them back with me to, you know, kind of get welcome to the homeless shelter, you know, so it won't be so bad, you know. So I get them to ride bikes, and my youngest falls off his bike. He has a helmet, but it slides right on his face, give him a nice little mark. And the day I'm graduating from welding school, I get a call from his school, which is the first day of school, from Child Protective Services, and miss my graduation to welding school to go show that I didn't abuse my child. So in the midst of awesome things, you know, small bad things can also happen in the midst of, and once again it can get discouraging, and once again it can make you want to fall back, like, forget it, oh my gosh, no matter how hard I fight, it's always something. It is gonna always be something. That's life. Murphy's Law is gonna come and backslap you every time you think he's not. My thing is, you can prepare for the best. I mean, you can hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and be okay either way. Because if you prepare for the best and the best came out, great. If you hoped for the best and it came out, that's great. And if you prepare for the worst, then why are you so upset if you kind of prepared for it? I mean, you can't prepare for everything, but if you had an idea and you know, did the most you can to prepare for it, you can't be prepared for exactly everything, then what is it to be upset about? No need to waste energy on those things. So after that happened, I came back, and Career Source is a great place. I don't think it gets enough recognition either. You know, they were willing to give job placements. And what I liked about Career Source job placements was, when you go to a career fair, it's thousands of people or hundreds of people. It's you amongst hundreds of applications. Like, okay, how are they going to see me amongst everyone else? With the Career Source, it was like 6 people in this class. 3 different companies coming. Between me and 5 other people, like, I think, you know, I have a way bigger, better chance of getting these jobs, you know. And I got a prospect of a great job, paying $20 an hour. And they needed 3 candidates. One guy, I was the only girl, 2 guys. One was like, he just going to do it for right now. His daddy got a company. He'll stay there about a month. But other 2, me and the other guy, like, we need this. You know, we got bills to pay. We got kids. This is going to be a great job. We need this. Come on through. And they were like, cool, we're going to send you the information to your emails. I'm like, this is great. I just graduated. I got a job perspective, paid the most I've ever got paid. You know, within a week, everything is going to forget the little situation. I'm being unhomeless by no time. Next day, I'm waiting on email. Email not coming through. I'm like, you know, maybe I gave them the wrong email. You know, they taking their time. Boy, they taking their time. What's going on? And I go back to the career source. And the guy who came to hire us, I guess he talked to administration over him, and they realized they only needed one person. And they took the one guy who was planning on leaving within the month. So, of course, I'm sad and like, oh, my Lord, okay, this, you know, it just seems like it's so much. And sometimes it seems like the battle, when so much adversity is coming against you, it's like, okay, are you sure I'm walking the right path? Like, I understand little adversity is supposed to get here, there, you know, jab here, bop, bop, bop. But come on now. I'm losing teeth, right? I must go get enough money to get Lumineers around here, okay? Because I'm losing teeth around here. So, you know, they call me back again. They're like, you know, we got another job perspective. But he's paying $10 an hour. I'm like, I can't do nothing with that. I'm not coming up there for $10 an hour. It's in the middle of the summer. I mean, it was still hot. Because in August, you know, in Florida, it's still hot. I'm like, I'm not coming up there. It's hot for $10 an hour. And my car's broke down. And this is like 3-4 miles from the shelter. And I'm like, I got to ride a bike. Because my thing is, I don't mind walking. I don't mind riding a bike. I don't mind none of that. God gave me legs. I'm going to use them. I have no shame in walking. I don't care if I have a car. If the store up the street, I'm walking. Okay? And so I'm like, I'm not about to go ride this bike in these biker shorts and it's hot and be sweating to come up there for something that if I even get this job, I can't afford to live. I can't waste 8-hour, 10-hour days at a job regardless that I'm working hard and I'm there. I'm not making enough money to survive with my children. So I was like, I really don't want to do it. She was like, come on, please, come on, you know, you never know. And I'm like, this lady's been so good to me. I don't have nothing else to do but be depressed at this homeless shelter. So I'm going to ride this bike. I rode the bike up there, lost my wallet halfway. I'm telling you. Get up there, go to the bathroom, to have to change into my interview clothes. Because my thing is, regardless of how things are going, if you're going to present yourself, at least try to present yourself in the best foot forward. I done made that trip. I'm not coming in there all sweaty and looking crazy without interview clothes. I'm going to fix myself up correctly. Show you that I'm a professional. And regardless if you're not paying enough, I'm still going to give you the best version of me. So I came in there. I had my interview clothes on, you know, came in there professional and conversated with this man. And he offers me a job. Now, I already know it's supposed to be $10 an hour, so I'm like, oh, man. But I'm like, okay. He was like, you know, I know I'm offering $10 an hour, but I want to pay you more. So I'm like, okay. So you want to pay me more? Okay, cool. That's great. So, you know, he doesn't actually tell me how much he's paying me. So I go through the paperwork and everything, and I'm waiting on him to call me to tell me how much he's going to pay me. And he calls me, and my son answers the phone. I'm not there. He tells my son, and my son totally forgets. And I don't want to call this man back. Just say, hey, how much you say you gonna pay me? So I'm like, oh, man. So I go on to this job. I got hired October 31st, 2017. And it ended up being a well-paying job, well more than I thought it would. And he explained to me that the only reason, actually, that he ended up hiring me and was because I did come in there professional. He said that I was the only one who came in with interview clothes on, even though I was the only one who came on a bike. You know, I was the only one who seemed like I wanted the job. I guess maybe he put out there that he was paying $10 an hour just to see who was going to bite. But I'm grateful for that, because during this time, I ended up going to this job. I'm still homeless, but I'm ready for my life to be different. My credit's terrible. I have no savings, and I'm pretty much clueless about how to prosper in life. But now I'm capable of being financially sound to the point that I can think about these things. So as I was there within this company, I wanted to learn everything I could. I want to be the best welder I could, the greatest co-worker I could. one thing they say about welders is women are great welders because we pay more attention to details. I had a coworker named Arnie, awesome, awesome man. Has been a welder over 40 years, and he is a awesome person. He's taught me so much, but what he says, one of the attributes of me, being one of his coworkers, were the idea that, I'm not only there to hand him things when he needs it, but when he lifted up his welding shield, there was a container of Gatorade in his face, like, don't pass out on me because I'm not dragging you down the stairs, he's like, man, don't think of that part. But I guess as a woman, I did. So within this time frame of having all these things happen to me, and all these situations that could have led me to a deeper, darker hole, instead I decided that it would be best, to try to bring the positivity out of it. So to be able to go from homeless and deciding to spend my time, to spend money, spend my time wisely at this homeless shelter. I mean, think about it, honestly. If you think about it in a whole nother aspect, a 30-year-old woman being able to start over in life, period. I had no bills. I had nothing that was holding me down. I could choose whatever career I wanted to choose at the time. I could choose however I wanted to live at the time. They honestly gave me a clean slate. And I was working at this job and still being at this homeless shelter. They gave me the opportunity to save and fix my credit. They gave me the opportunity to be able to build up something, to be able to give myself a semi-push once I got out there. When I got on my feet, I already had furniture bought for my house. See, I already knew for a fact I was going to buy this house, because I was like, I would never go this far down in life ever again. And what I end up learning is that even though you want to be able to say you can do things on your own, you do need other people. And other people did come and step in and help me out in different ways. And regardless if you want to end up having trust issues, you do need other people. Now I said all that to reiterate something about your company. I understand, that Hamilton Carhart started this company with 2 sewing machines and 5 people. And sometimes people might want to just focus on him. Let me focus on those 5 people. We are nothing without the people who back us, who help us. See, you can't be a strong chain when you have weak links. And we sometimes forget our positions. And because we think we're not the head of the chain, that our link isn't important. Because wherever we are weak is where we fall. See, we need each other. You might think that, I just do something at a store, or people don't recognize what I do. The things you do change people's lives. Just because you don't see it every day doesn't mean it's not true. Working for that company, I had to wear a men's uniform. And as a welder, I don't know if you understand the importance of clothing, okay? Come home and you're looking like a Dalmatian right here, like, whoa, okay, where'd that come from? Or it's kind of uncomfortable and you're feeling wind different places you shouldn't, and it's probably not the greatest thing working with a whole bunch of men, it's just, and it gives you this feeling like, honestly, like you don't belong there, because why isn't clothes made for me here? You know what I mean? They obviously see I'm not a man, yet I need to wear their uniforms. So when I was working Tough as Nails and we were able to wear Carhartt gear, and I guess I got to see more or less of Carhartt gear, because hey, I was homeless at one point in time. I wasn't thinking about buying Carhartt. It's just what it is. But when I actually got to see and got an understanding and was able to wear clothes that was made for me, comfortable, and I can work in it, it gave me the idea of, what, it's not that I don't belong. Sometimes you're just not where you're supposed to be. There are plenty of women workers, plenty of women welders, blue collar trades, women workers, and men workers. And I feel like the idea of a company understanding the importance of being safe and the importance of what these people do to run the world, it is just awesome. It is a beautiful thing. Like, I wear my Carhartt faithfully, I wear it with a dress. Like the bomber, you know, different things. And I love to be able to tell people about it. You know, it gives me the encouragement when I'm welding to understand that I have on gear that's made for me while I'm doing something that I enjoy. This is a world for me. This is not something that's one-sided, you know. So when you hear someone come in and they're asking different questions about sizes, or you don't understand how important it is and the strength and the things that you make and how you can save somebody's life. I'm going to give a prime example. You know, putting a hammer in the side of your pants and it's not strong and you're up 60 feet in the air and that hammer falls on somebody's head, that's death. And that's a heartache on that person. And for you guys to make stuff that you feel comfortable enough to put gear in and be able to go up in the air and things, that's tremendous, because I want to come home to my children. So it's like, you know, I just want to remind you guys that, you know, every position that's within this company is needed. And if it wasn't, you wouldn't be here. And if you weren't worth it, you wouldn't be here. So, you know, when you start waking up and you want to go half, you know, on your job, remember, people are relying on you. People need you. You are needed. And if you feel like you're not in a position that you want to be right now, understand that every position you are, sometimes is a stepping stone. And sometimes it's a lesson to be learned. You know, and if you don't do the best that you can at any position you are, you're not building a great foundation. You want to be a leader of this situation. You want to one day lead Carhartt. Well, guess what? The best leader knows how to be very good at every position that they had before. Period. You can't, you know, do half right and be lazy and trifling and then think someone wants you to lead. Do you really realize how hard it is to be a leader of a situation? Everyone is counting on you. And if you can't lead yourself, how can you lead other people? How can you ask for discipline from other people that you can't discipline yourself? Stop seeing just what you will futuristically want to be at, and understand that everything you do right now makes that difference. See, I absolutely love it. You guys have gave me so many opportunities and so many aspects. I have an opportunity to show other women about the Wonder Welding lifestyle and how show them about the Carhartt gear and be able to tell, hey, do you know they got Carhartt gear? Look at this. You see this? I know. It looks good, right? I just got the welding and now I'm about to go out. Okay. It helps you understand and make you feel like you belong. And I know I'm just a link amongst a strong chain of awesome friends of Carhartt. And, you know, you might have heard stories like this before, but I just wanted you guys to just really understand, you know, the importance of each individual. Truly. From marketing to, you know, from advertising to people who might even just sew to people who, you know, just on the computer all day. It does not matter. When you don't show up, it's detrimental. When you don't give your opinion, it's detrimental. You owe us. You owe us your ideas. You owe the world your potential and everything. You owe us the best version of you. You are doing us, yourself, and this whole world a disservice when you don't give us everything that you got. And believe me, everyone might not take it great, but the people who deserve it and who you're doing it for is going to receive it. Don't worry about if everyone doesn't receive it. Who was supposed to receive it is going to receive it. And my thing is, if they don't, who cares, as long as you did what you're supposed to do. It's awesome for yourself and it's awesome for other people. You're not here by chance. You're not here by a mistake. You're here because you were needed. Someone saw something in you. And yes, things are going to get hard. And it is easy to stop focus. It's easy to fall. It's easy to forget. But understand that it's not true. It's temporary. And you can do it again. Everyone stays off focus. Everyone falls off focus. Everyone has a hard time. But you can change things. If I can go from homeless to homeowner within a year, then you can do anything. Listen, sometimes, before I even started this, you know, the vulnerability of telling people about your life isn't easy. But if I can change someone else's situation or even their mindset about something based off of hearing what I've gone through, then that's what I would prefer. I had a horrible childhood and I didn't have any guidance at all. So I would stick to really dead end jobs that did not pay. So for me, I was incapable of paying all my bills by myself for 1 year ever in my life. Ever. And I went from not being able to pay any rent or any type of bills all together for 1 year to owning a house and never missing a payment ever. Not being in debt, pay car notes, insurance, everything. Savings, trust funds, 401k within a year. If I can do that based off mental determination, you can do anything you put your mindset to. Anything. And we need you as a strong link. We need your opinions. We need your ideas. We need your experience. We need you. See, I said I wasn't going to get emotional, but see, everything I say, I believe in. Very passionate person. And with being passionate, a lot of people take it the wrong way and they assume it's aggression, but it's not. It's just I put everything that how I feel in everything that I do. So understand when I tell you these things are from the heart. I might not know you individually, but if anyone has been through any of the things that I have done, then we all soul sisters and brothers, okay? And see, you have to understand, you have to smile about things. Sometimes let things go. You're having problems with your coworkers. Understand, sometimes they have underlying problems themselves. Sometimes, you know what, send them a gift or some coffee, a candy, something, sometimes just to let it go. Be the bigger person about things. Sometimes some people just need that shoulder. I'm going to give another example. I had a young lady I was working with. She had trust issues. She did not want to make friends. And whenever I would try to speak nice to her, she'd be like, what is wrong with you? And leave me alone. And I would keep pushing, like, listen, man, you're going to stop pushing me away. Like, I know you have issues, but I didn't do it to you. And what I'm going to do is keep showing you that I'm worth you be trusting. Now, we're friends. I've been friends with her. She was in Virginia, and we're still friends, and we talked just yesterday. My thing is sometimes you have to see past the underlining of a situation. Co-worker or someone being nasty that day, they might be going through stuff and don't know how to express themselves. No need for you to become a weaker link than them and then go down to their level and then try to do continued things and then try to continue things and try to continue things when your energy needs to be on positivity. Unless you got it like that, unless you're perfect, your life perfect like that, then I'm speaking to a choir, you know. If not, then sometimes learn not to hold on to negative things, especially if something you can't change. Oh, it was the past. Woo, that hurt. I'm not saying don't be hurt. I'm not saying don't have emotions about things. I'm not saying don't talk things out. But if it's not something that can change, if it's not something that's going to put you in a positive mental state, it's not worth it. It truly isn't. So I said all that.
You are an inspiration, my friend. I don't know. I'm ready to go box and kick a bag out there, but you are a true ambassador of our brand, and we are so proud to have you in our corner. If you're okay with it, Lynette, I would like to open up the floor. We have a few questions.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind. So Mary Weaver, I think you had a question for Lynette.
No, I might have clicked it on accident.
Anyone have? I think I see nope.
It was me, Heidi, Mary Winstall.
Okay.
I know. I figured that was probably what happened. I love it. Well, first, you're already making us cry, and it's 11, so we appreciate that a lot. That was so inspiring, and I can take back all of your words. Everything that you said spoke to me and who I am as a person. But I listened, and a lot of things really resonated. Like, the universe knocked you down so many times, and you're like, I'm just going to get up, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get up. And how many times have we thought, wow, I can't do this anymore, or wow, I'm just, I'm having a bad day, and we try so hard to not bring it back into our stores, and you reminded us that, a lot of people rely on us to be that powerhouse and be that inspiration to them. So what was a moment for you when you kept getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down, and you're like, I need to go forward? What was like a light bulb for you? Just one moment. I know there's probably a million moments, but what was one?
It was actually one. I ran a lot, and for me, it was a huge stress reliever. And
I love running.
Yes, but usually I would run about 2 to 4 miles. This time I was extremely stressed, and I ran like 8 miles, and I thought I would calm down, but like 2 hours later, my nose started bleeding, and I realized my heart rate was like 180. So basically, I was stressing myself, kind of basically to death, because 2 hours later, my heart rate shouldn't have been that way. So, and this is why I was at the homeless shelter. So basically, it was almost a life or death situation, because I was stressing so bad, I couldn't calm down. I couldn't get my heart rate down, and my nose is bleeding. I don't have nosebleeds. I was obviously stroking or heart attacking myself. So it was one of those, it's either you're going to calm down right now, or obviously something's about to go wrong. So that was kind of a light bulb for me. I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like when you literally almost kill yourself over stress and you see it, like I'm grateful for my Fitbit. But yeah, basically I saw that I was about to kill myself.
And how amazing, like I'm definitely going to bring back you talking about how you, like our stuff is so strong that you have to put your hammer in because it can't fall down. Like I'm like, wow, that was such a light bulb for me. I'm going to take that back to my store and say, listen guys, like this is how proud we are. I mean, my store is proud to sell Carhartt, but like that's like takes it to another level. So thank you for sharing that. And that was amazing.
Thank you.
Lynette, I don't know if you can see the comments, but you're becoming our quick hero. Very inspirational. Anthony, I think I saw your hand up at one point. Did you have a question for Lynette? All right, I see Andrew's hand up. So, Andrew.
Hi, Lynette.
Hello.
Camera's weird. I just wanted to first say that I really appreciated you sharing about your experience with homelessness. I think that I'm familiar with a lot of the challenges that come with living in a homeless shelter. You know, your things, your personal, you don't have personal space. You don't have, like, there's not privacy and whatnot. I really appreciated that you shared with so much dignity, and you really focused on the positive things and the opportunities that those places give to people. What, like, in hindsight, is there any program or dynamic that you wish you had, like, could I don't know, have tapped into, aside from just like what your experience was? Like, you needed to find a job, but other people go there for different reasons and find hope and find change, and there's a lot of challenges. Do you have any other insights to add to that?
You say I wish I could have gathered from it. Let's see.
Yeah, or maybe, like, you know, in hindsight, is there anything you would have done differently there? Because it's, you know, your story, you focused on everything you did right, and I don't want to change the focus from that, but you know, that's a challenging experience to live in that environment, and you know, I'm just amazed whenever anybody is able to take advantage of those tools and change their lives. So I don't know exactly what I'm asking, to be honest.
One thing I could take away.
So maybe it's more a comment, but
it's okay. One thing I guess I could take away more is after I left the shelter, I was kind of highly upset with the shelter, and I wish I wouldn't have been, because I feel like I missed out the opportunity to be able to address people at that shelter, because nothing's perfect, and the shelter definitely was not perfect, especially the idea of, I feel like it was kind of more of a revolving situation, but I feel like I closed myself out of being able to bring in some positivity in a situation by being upset with them and not want to work with them afterwards, because honestly I ended up being a success story. And from my understanding, probably one of the most successful stories of that homeless shelter. But I opt out of being called on to tell my story because they actually weren't very helpful for me into the transition of trying to better myself. But I wish I could have just said forget that part, because if I only had the opportunity to go back and still talk to these people as a speaker or something, regardless of whatever they were having going on there, I could have helped encourage them to be able to move forward and be that light that I felt like I wasn't able to have there. So for me, I feel like my ignorance and pride made me lose the opportunity to help other people, which is why I try to tend to focus on the positivity of things.
Thank you, Lynette. We are at time, but I do see another hand, Matt. So, Matt.
So, Lynette, thank you so much. I was just wondering, with the incredible story that you have, how have you seen it affect your children?
Going through a lot. I think I hate to say I exposed them to situations I guess I prefer that they wouldn't have, but also gave them an aspect of life, so they won't assume that, that they can't fall. Because I feel like sometimes when you think that you can't fall and you end up falling, you end up thinking that you can't get out of it because you've never seen such a bad situation, if you understand what I mean. But also, I think that they see that I'm, I guess, a strong person, and I'm very sure they know I love them, and I will do anything and everything to make sure that their life is what it needs to be.
Lorraine, do you have a question?
I do. First, I have a statement that I have at least 6 quotes from you, Lynette, that really hit my heart. But I was wondering, what shaped or molded your positive outlook? I mean, are you a religious person? Where did you get it? I want to drink some of that Kool-Aid.
I don't know, actually, because I'm apparently very different from my family. I'm more of a loner, but I want to be happy, and I feel like it's something that I'm supposed to give to the world. And, I feel like everyone deserves to be the best version of themselves, and it's just something within me. I don't know. I think this is my purpose.
Well, it sounds powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Lynette, is there a book in your future since you enjoy reading?
Yes, actually, I'm working on a book more about self mentality and be able to let go of negative things, and also working on becoming more of a motivational speaker. As I said, I liked fitness, and I love welding, but I also like motivation, being a motivational person. So sometimes you just kind of have to flow with however life flows you into, because sometimes you really don't know what's best for you and what is your niche. So if things continue to flow, you just go with it and do what you love and love what you do.
Well, I think we are ready to read your book for sure. And you may not have won Tough as Nails, but I think you won the hearts of all this entire Carhartt team. So
thank you.
We hope we have the opportunity to hear you speak again, because this was an amazing hour for us. And
thank you all in the comments. I'm sorry I didn't see them at first. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much. And I think I responded. I'm a Virgo on one of those. But thank you so much, you guys. I hope we can do this again anytime soon. If you need me, I am here for you guys. And if you have any other comments, you want to reach out to me, is it okay if I give my email?
Yeah. Is it okay with the team if I share your email and if I share your Instagram account so they can follow you as well? Because that's an inspiration too for me.
It's on my end. That is fine. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And Heidi, oh my gosh, you beautiful soul, you. Thank you so much.
You, my friend.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I hope the rest of your meeting goes well.
Thanks for leading us off.
All right. Thank you.
Right,
have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
Uh-oh. I figure out how to hang up.